So my first question is, what brought you out to this land? If you could tell the story of what brought you out here.
Okay, I just left art school in Minneapolis. A school that I liked, but they had started to create a kind of an intimidation tactic to get rid of several teachers, and so anyway, I withdrew because my teacher was the first one that was fired, president of the teachers union, and he was a great teacher. And so I moved to North Carolina, and I moved to the mountains of North Carolina. And while I was up there, I found a place living out in the middle of the national forest, the Pisgah National Forest. And so, you're there and you got to figure out what you're going to do with your garbage. And another neighbor up the way had said, well, just start your compost pile, just throw it in a pile. So that's what we did. And it kind of like that was going to lead to a garden, which is what we did. And then I really started to kind of get interested in that and kind of educate myself about that. And along the way of having an ever-expanding garden, I became introduced to natural foods, organic foods, and then local foods. And through that, I ended up getting a job at the French Broad Food Co-op, where they had people who would bring in the produce they would sell, people who would grow it in the region and would bring it in. And I met some of these people, and after seeing their photographs above the produce stand, this is where your food comes from. I never thought of these things. So I told one of them, I asked one of them if I could come see their farm because it was down the road from me. And he said, sure. And that turned into 2 seasons of helping them once a week while my garden was also expanding, and I was doing experiments and reading and about all this. And then I introduced myself to a second person and said I'd like to come visit their farm, and they never thought I would show up. And then I showed up and ended up working for them for like 3 years, just helping them out. And they really helped me out a lot, just teaching me how to do things. And so that all kind of got me to the point where I was very disinterested in school, but very interested in learning to become a farmer. I never knew anything about these things, so I started looking for land up in the mountains of North Carolina. And then my father said, I know of some land available down here. You should come look at it,
Where was down here?
This place. And I said, well, we're not really looking down there. I don't want to be in the vicinity of my hometown for the same reasons that I wanted to leave my hometown. And nonetheless, we came to look at it and liked the place. And then
What did you like about it?
my father, I'll get to that. And at the same time that my father said that he could probably figure out some way to finance it for us, which seemed very interesting because other than that, other than the desire to look for land, there's really no way to acquire it with our resources. So we came and looked at the place and liked it because it was it wasn't all a mountain like what we were looking at up in the Asheville area. It had a lot of different topography features. It had water.
Look over here now and again.
It had water.
Look at me now and again.
I'm working.
Yeah.
And lots of trees. And hadn't been touched in a long time, so there was the possibility that any kind of harmful practices as far as chemicals would have happened far in the past. There is a lot of there's a lot of different features about this land, and I like that a lot. I like it that it's remote, even from the road that brings us here. It's somewhat isolated. It's not right on the road. So those were the big things. It seemed like it was like had a lot of possibilities for what could be accomplished, and maybe I was naive to the point that I felt like I could just do anything, and this was the best opportunity I was going to find, so might as well just go with it.
So what made you said you liked the place, what in particular?
Oh, I love the terrain. I love the terrain. It's a little valley, and I like that. There's a lot of different topography, and there's a lot of different geological features, and there's also a lot of different soil types. I mean, we started about 1,100 feet, and we at the bottom of the property, it's in the north bottom, and then in the south we rise up onto the side of a mountain to about 1,400 feet. And on both sides of it, it's a valley. It's a real slender little valley, and so those were very interesting. I mean, it wasn't a flat piece of land. You know, it wasn't just a solid incline either. There's a lot of undulations.
What shape was the land in when you got here?
It was overgrown, so you could tell that nobody had really done much. And that was nice. It kind of felt, in a way, as if it was virgin territory, even though it had been extensively farmed in its past. But that was a past of 20, 30 years ago. So a lot of things had been left to their own devices, and you could kind of see